Hello, everybody, and welcome to a conversation with artist, curator, social justice warrior, friend, Fran Joy. Hi, Fran.
Hi, Felicity. Nice to see you.
Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you very much. As you know, we are trying to give people the opportunity to meet you virtually.
I like that. I'm getting into this virtual stuff when the equipment works.
When the equipment works, when the internet stays solid. So tell us what piece you are exhibiting in the group show.
The group show, I am exhibiting one of my spiritual pieces from that series. It's the last one of, no, there's two left, and this is one of them. And it's called She Protects. So she's a spirit, she's got her sword, she's ready to go, bring it on, she's ready for you. I think we need strength during this time period. We need some warriors. We definitely need some spiritual warriors, and we definitely need some female spirits running some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's what she is, and she protects. I think women have a natural sense of wanting to protect things, not so much destroy and bomb and get all territorial. Actually want to protect and organize, build things. That's
beautiful.
Yes, and that's what she represents.
You also have pieces in addition to that in the pop-up shop. So if people want to browse your work, you have several pieces around the website I've seen.
Yes, a lot of prints available. Not so much original work, but a lot of prints available.
Excellent.
And I just got an inquiry about one of the prints. So I'm assuming that came through Evanston Made.
Let's hope we're doing our job and sending people your way. Now, tell me, do you have something on your canvas right now, or are you working on something else that you want to talk about?
Well, I'm not actually working on a canvas right now. I'm actually still working on masks. So I got some new fabrics.
Nice.
Some cheetah.
Beautiful.
So I had taken a break for a couple of weeks from that. So I'm back on that because I'm kind of behind schedule. So getting back onto that from working with the Evanston Art Center and getting that all installed. Then there's an exhibit I have to start thinking about if it's still on board, and that's for the fall, for September, an exhibit called The Glory Days, and it's to depict imagery and accomplishments prior to the enslavement era.
Mm-hmm.
So that people can get a better sense of value about Black people and where they came from, what they were about, how they dealt things, whether it was architecture, medicine, royalty, whatever. I think it would help the current climate that's going on right now. I had decided before the current climate, but I think it's even more necessary with the current climate. And to give, especially the youth, a different sense of value about themselves. And so hopefully they'll value others as well. And then non-people of color can also see the value of others. So that's going to be a group show as well, and it'll be at the Noise Cultural Arts Center in September if all goes as planned.
Well, you've been very busy, and sometimes when things don't go as planned, as we've seen, there is great benefit. And I just want to make sure to say congratulations. You and Rose Cannon curated a magnificent show that's on display at the Evanston Art Center called Soulworks, which is in its, a new location and is a pop-up show that moves, but it is beautiful. It is obvious that it was so much work. And congratulations, because you put together 12 spectacular artists of color who are worth collecting and celebrating. So thank you for that.
And one thing I have not made clear about that particular exhibit is each of those 12 artists, though many of them live in other cities in different parts of the country, they all have an Evanston connect.
Nice.
And I think it just kind of dawned on me. I'm like, each person has their own little individual personal Evanston connect, whether they worked here before, lived here before, went to school here, went to Northwestern, whatever the case may be, they have been involved in this community at some point. So I think that's kind of cool about it.
Mm-hmm. And they're all different ages and genders, and it's interesting to see how they've all individually come through Evanston. Let's talk a little bit for people who aren't familiar with your journey into becoming an artist. How did you become an artist? When did you start using that title?
That's a good question. Did I answer that before? Okay, because I have a couple of.
You answered definitely how you became an artist with an answer that I feel I hear a lot from people who are like, I just was born that way. I woke up this way.
Well, mine started with, honestly, it started with kindergarten. I tried to put myself in school at age 4 before I was of age to go to kindergarten, and they sent me home and I was devastated. But I finally got in there, and the first day the project was finger painting, and I was like, whoa, people do this? This is a thing? And so it started there, and it never left. I did other things. I did corporate America for like 20 years, hated it. Did entrepreneurial, life coaching. I've done writings for political columns, all kind of stuff. But art never left. Either I was dealing someone else's art, because I'm a really good art salesperson, but I wasn't dealing myself. And then I would just piddle around with it off and on over the years whenever I got an opportunity. But after a lot of losses, and after my husband died 8 years ago, I just went, it just was coming out like from everywhere. I couldn't stop it if I wanted to. So, and that's kind of where it's at now. I have a lot of thoughts about creativity. All forms of it, actually, but I'm a visual artist, but I love all forms of creativity, and I love it when they come together. When you bring music, performance, and visual art all together, I love it. So I'm definitely a creative spirit for sure.
And a prolific creative spirit for sure. As you said 8 years ago, I mean, I have, since the day I met you, I have just watched you create, share, produce art at a level of, you know, it's just really impressive how much you uplift other artists, but also create on your own. Who are your inspirations when you're coming to the canvas, when you're coming to a new project? Who or what inspires your work?
I'm very plugged into stronger, powerful spirits. For example, say like a Maya Angelou, who's suffered greatly for years, couldn't speak, and then she came into her voice and became one of the greatest voices of all time.
Mm-hmm,
so that's a powerful spirit to me. I get into those kind of spirits, those kind of people, living or dead, because it brings hope to me. It brings hope that you can overcome all sorts of adversities and still come out on top and the other side of it. So I always need that as encouragement spiritually when, you know, times get dark, like they so chaotic and crazy and tense right now. It helps to see strong spirits. I also like to, I guess, memorialize other strong spirits that are deceased from maybe social injustice or violence or something like that, just so that there's a showcase or a light on that particular subject. So we don't forget the sacrifice of life that has been made for some kind of change or whatever. Or a person, say like a Malala, who's shot in the head because she wanted to get educated. She just graduated from Oxford.
Oxford, I know.
So I'm like, that's a strong spirit. So I get turned on by those kind of people in terms of wanting to represent them on canvas, so that people can keep them in their heads as far as who they are, what they're about, and what they want to do in life. And I like tribal imagery from, indigenous, whether it's Native American, African, or whatever. I like that kind of work. It has a sacredness about it that I like having around me.
Mm-hmm.
So that has a lot to do with it. And I specialize in these large screens, as you see.
I was going to say, behind you is Egyptians toiling at what looks like in the fields, and that's you created that screen behind you.
Yes, they're actually, you can't see in this apartment, but below it's water, so they're up and stuff, but you can't see all of it. But it's a huge screen. I have a lot of 8-footers. Well, not a lot, but I have 8-footers here all around. I would give you a thing, but I don't know about that. But yeah, and I'm showcasing those more because I want to do more of those. And I think they make for great room dividers, wall hanging plaques, or you want to hide something. Like I divide my kitchen. I don't want to look in there and see that. I want to see something pretty. So it's good for that kind of thing, or fireplaces when it's too hot to turn them on. So I make them all different sizes. So,
And the work that you have in Soulworks, because in addition to curating, you also are exhibiting. People can walk by and see it through the windows. Is it on display in some of the front windows at Evanston Art Center?
Yes, I have work on a portable wall there that's in the window area. So even if you don't come in, you can see pretty much both sides of that wall. And it's positioned so you can look through the whole gallery and kind of see a lot of what's going on if you don't want to come inside. But there's so much room inside. There's plenty of room for social distancing. And if anybody wants a tour, I'm glad to give them one. I'm only a few blocks away, so I'm happy to do that. So we've got emerging artists and more prolific artists as well. So
well, congratulations again, because that's the first show that many people have been able to see since Shelter In. And I know that I've seen on social media and even heard from people that they've been and they love it. So I'm just so grateful that you make time to make while building our arts community. I'm really grateful for you and for letting us meet you today via Zoom.
And what's good about that show and what you're doing with Evanston Made, this pandemic has been just so dramatic and so altering of life for so many people on so many levels. There's been a lot of emphasis on feeding the homeless and seniors. I have a hard time identifying with that label, but I am a legitimate senior. There are some benefits to that. But anyway, I think it's a way, in terms of what you're doing with Evanston Made and with the Evanston Arts Center, to also show that we can move and keep going forward. We can move outside of this normal box we used to be in, and we can make things happen. And this is a coming together of a cultural world. Evanston is hugely rich culturally, always has been. It's the merging of the business world. So like the art center has been shut down for months. People haven't been able to go in any galleries, museums or anything. And then with the the tenseness of the climate. I don't care what color you are. There's some tenseness going on here. Art crosses all boundaries. Art crosses boundaries. It brings everybody in. It doesn't have to be just Black art. It can be all kinds of art by Black people. It could be Black art by white people. There's so many ways you can go with art, and it goes so far back, and it's needed so much as an outlet of expression and to bring some kind of joy into your home or some kind of energy you might not have in there. Bring it in with some artwork, and you can go online. You can order from Evanston Made. You know, we can make this still happen. People can still do what they're doing, still make money, still have beautiful things around. I have to go for the hope part, you know, just think outside the box. And we have up until the end of July to keep thinking outside the box before things go back into another zone.
Right. So we gotta stay hopeful, and we have to stay connected, and we have to stay making. Thank you, Fran. I appreciate you, and thank you for your time for this interview.
And we got to get some more people in Evanston Made, make this thing stronger, bigger, broader, even more creative. You've done a hell of a job in just galvanizing the art community in Evanston, and I love you for it. We can't do without you. You have to be here doing this, going forward, thinking outside. You're an air person, so you can think outside the box easily. I'm with you on whatever that program is. I'm with you on it.
Thank you, Fran.